Alright guys, listen, I know many other people have already done stuff like this before, but like every story is not the same, you know? So, my story is about my crazy ex. So, just like please stay until the end. Cause like there's gonna be a bunch more parts, probably 3 or 4, I don't know yet. So, just stay tuned. Also, can we just like rate my drawing real quick? This took me like probably 12 minutes, but like this is a masterpiece. But that's all I gotta say. Just take a look at that. Like, that's perfect. Anyways, let's get back to the video. Alright, so this basically starts over a year ago. I was chilling with one of my friends. We're gonna call him Ezekiel, and the girl is gonna be called Ashley. So Ezekiel and Ashley basically got together one day, like I'm pretty sure as soon as they met, which is kind of odd to me. And I wasn't really a part of the group that time because I was dating someone else. And like they broke up within 2 weeks, I'm pretty sure, or like a week. And she was like having him carry her bag and stuff like all over the place. And, like, damn, dude. Like he was doing like everything for her. And she did not care. So basically, they ended up breaking up 2 weeks later. Well, basically, after they had broke up, they were still hanging out with each other during lunch or whatever, and they're still spending time for each other. And Ezekiel would always follow her throughout like the school and stuff, and like take her bag with her, right? And then Ashley basically started liking this other dude, and a couple months passed because I personally did not care about wherever the fuck they did or anything. So like, why would I? I don't really know the story between everything that happened there, but all I know is that she definitely 100% got rejected. Anyways, so Ashley eventually comes around back to me, which is oddly weird. So I remember I was basically chilling, and I guess she found my Insta, and so they texted me and I texted them back, and I lucky instantly blocked them because I didn't feel like talking to them for a while until like something happened and I decided to unblock him, in which case that was a terribly bad idea. So we basically started talking, and we started talking more and more by the day. And I remember there's a time where I was heading off to the store because I live by like a convenience store, and I had a couple of extra green bills on me, and I decided, no, I'm gonna go get something to eat. And these people moved into the house the day before, and when I was walking home that day, I found out that apparently she moved to like 3 houses down from me, which is crazy. So I basically texted them. I was like, hey, you want me to get you something from the store real quick? And they're like, yeah, sure. And I'm pretty sure it was like a can of Pringles or something like that. So I basically went to the store, I gave them to it, and that was it. And I basically went home, and they thanked me and whatever. And a couple days later, we were like still talking like on a daily basis or whatever, and then they asked me for a favor by the time I was going to sleep. But I decided, I was like, no, I'm not reading that shit right now, because I was tired as fuck, and I decided to read it in the morning. So I remember waking up, I'm pretty sure in the middle of the night, because it was hot as hell and I was sweating my ass off. And I remember looking at a text, and I don't remember exactly what the text was, but I'm pretty sure it was something close to like what I'm about to say. But they were asking like, hey, I got like something to ask you, but do you want to be like friends with benefits? And like, if you don't know what that is, just like go look it up. But like, just tell me whenever you wake up and whatever, you know. My slow ass being clueless, I didn't know what that was, so I did actually have to go look it up at that time. And when I did, I saw what it was, and I'm like, what the fuck? Because like, we didn't know each other that well. We've been only talking for like 2 weeks straight. So I thought about saying no, but I don't remember why I didn't. And so I ended up saying yes to it. And honestly, I don't think I should have. So I remember us talking one weekend and like flirting and like a bunch of shit, and I don't remember much, but I remember we were saying like a bunch of stuff, and it was over the weekend. I'm pretty sure this happened on like a Friday or whatever. So when we went to school back on Monday, we were like both nervous because like of all the things you just said. So like we're still like warming up to each other, and we realized we didn't really want anyone else to know yet, because she apparently was friends with my other ex, which we'll save that for a different story time. But she didn't want anyone to know like at all, because like it's like a weird matchup. It was like we're lucky both randoms, and so we were like gonna hide it and not really tell anyone from what we know. So every day we would go to the bus and we'd either like sit next to each other or whatever, but like we would hide it mostly by just like texting, but it's like sitting away and shit like that. So, but during sometimes for lunch we would just like sit with each other and go away from the group, and to be honest I wasn't even sitting with them at lunch either at that time. So yeah. Alright, so I remember, right, we would always go home in the same direction since we kind of lived like right next to each other, and I would always walk by her house every day and drop her off there until, if I remember right, she ended up giving clothes to Ezekiel, one of her ex, and basically I remember she told him to keep it like a secret for right now, and she asked my ex about like permission or whatever, even though she didn't really need it. Like, what the fuck are we doing? I don't know what the fuck that was about, because like we're not even together or anything, and if that was me personally, I could not care less. Like, if someone's house burnt down and one of my exes ran in there to try and save someone, I'd low-key be cheering for both of them to die, honestly. Like, that's not even my problem. I'd grab a bag of popcorn and let that shit pop in the house fire too, to be honest. Anyways, so basically I remember everyone about like finding out and shit, and we would just like spend time together and whatever. And this is where it starts to get a little bit crazy at. So I'm pretty sure it's like a week after, but I ended up meeting her parents, and I remember talking to them, and they didn't know we were dating at that time yet. So I would like, she told me to like act like normal, because she was to tell them in like 2 days or so. And personally, like, you know, I'm not like your daughter or anything, but like if you know how your parents are gonna react, you should probably tell them day one. Just saying. I don't know. It's like her parents were lucky, like mad at her for not saying that. So her parents usually check her phone once every couple months, and they haven't did it in a while because I think she got a new phone, but they decided to check her phone today, and I guess they found out that she was dating, and before she went to check they went to go check her phone, she asked if I wanted to hang out or like go on a quick walk or something for a second, and I was like, yeah, sure, but it's like kind of weird, but okay. And she told me to like hurry, so she left her phone at the house while we go on the walk, because they were checking it, and they check everyone's phone in the household, and they saw like our messages and shit. And I remember walking around the block, and she was like panicking the whole time and stuff, and it was like crazy. And I don't remember how we got to the conversation, but I remember like us not worrying about it as much or whatever, because we started talking about like other stuff, and she brought up on how she used to be in like the asylum for like a certain point of time, in which I did not know about until after like we started talking and stuff. So that's like 100% not my fault, to be fair, but like yeah. So I don't know, maybe that could have got brought up before I started talking to them. Anyways, so yeah, that was like, I thought about it and I was like, oh, yo, that's definitely a red flag. But so we were heading back to her parents' house, and I remember we were waiting on the outside of her, and they like came out and like they started yelling and shit at her, and I was just like, I didn't know if I should leave or not, or if that'd be disrespectful or anything, and I was just like sitting there, like a couple feet from her, just watching as they went off about her, and I remember just like staring at the ground or something. It was like crazy. Because like I didn't know what I should do, or if I just sit there. And her parents are being reasonable, and she was like, "Well, I don't know him, and your dad doesn't know him, so like, you should at least told us." And I forgot what else, but yeah. And I was lucky frozen, like I didn't know what to do. And then her dad basically, like after her mom was done talking, her dad started talking. And like he wasn't yelling or whatever, but he was like being honest. And he was saying like, you guys could spend like a couple more minutes out here or whatever, but like, he just like got me to know the point. And I understood him. I was like, yeah, I know what you mean. I know what you mean. And yeah, he was like very calm about it. Like he wasn't yelling. And they basically went inside, and I think they said they're gonna take away her phone for like 3 months. Ooh. So yeah, 3 months. And after that, we were just like chilling outside. It was like quiet for like a while, and I remember us like talking. Like we basically got over the quiet part, and we were like talking and actually like laughing a little bit and having fun about random things. And I remember it being like around 7 or whatever. And I left, like, we ended up leaving her house right there. And like, I left. Because it was like he's trying to get late. And yeah. And I remember like leaving on like a goodbye kiss and shit. But after that, because I went home, I couldn't text her or anything, so I was like, I don't remember what I did. I was like just chilling in bed or whatever, like scared, like in shock, because like I wasn't expecting that shit to happen to me like at all. But that shit was like funny as hell now that I think about it. Like I remember being scared as fuck. I don't know, bro. I was lucky shitting my pants when that happened. Like, it's actually wild. But I think a couple days pass. Because, oh yeah, that happened on a Thursday. And on a Friday, she wasn't even at school at all. Cause I guess one of her parents was like, you're not going to go to school today, and you're going to stay home and think about like what you done or whatever. So I didn't see her Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I think I saw her Monday. I'm pretty sure. Because yeah, I mean I couldn't really hang out with her. She was like fucking grounded or whatever, so. But I remember walking towards my bus stop to get on the bus, whatever, and like I see like someone in the distance. I couldn't really tell if that was someone else or not, because like we both left our house at like a specific time to spend more time together, and I did it, but she didn't, and I couldn't really tell who that was in the distance. But we basically met up, we caught up, we talked again, and yeah, that was it. So that was it for a while. So we basically kept doing our regular stuff as we were doing before, except we were just not quiet about it, and she doesn't really have her phone or anything. But I remember getting a little bit pressed because like she had a bag and she let this other dude wear it, but like, or not wear it, hold it for her. And I remember I was like, you gonna talk to her about that like 2 days before we broke up. But I remember around that week I was like gonna talk to her about it, and then she came to school one day acting like all funny or whatever, and there's this dude, we're gonna call him Brandon, but he was in my first period class, and like I was telling him about it, all the problems we had and shit. And he was like, yo, like, you're right, like, that's not normal. Like, he's been dating this one girl for like 4 months or whatever so far. And he was like, yo, you're like not wrong about that. Like, letting someone else hold your bag is crazy. And when I was gonna talk to her about it, I remember like meeting her parents, and it was like they knew me. Like, now, like, it wasn't really a good start off, but we could make it better. So her parents had gave her a phone for a while to text me saying like, oh hey, you can come over at this same time. And I kept asking, I was like, is it a good day to come over, that day or that day? And I basically went to go meet them, and it wasn't really as bad as I thought it would have been, but I remember like I was so nervous the entire time. You know, it's crazy. I think I was like sweating a little bit too, but I basically talked to them, and they got to know me a little bit better. And I think they brought up like, what was your intentions with my daughter? Like the usual stuff you'd probably bring up. I don't really remember what I said, but I remember it was good. Like, I passed the test. And yeah, that was it. Until her dad walked into the house, and like the same thing happened again, pretty much. So yeah. Oh, and it was the same thing. She wanted me to be respectful to her dad, and pretty much like I had to like shake his hand, like do all the formal stuff, and I did that, and we were good. So I think we got to spend some time together at her house or whatever, and I remember chilling there for like probably until 6 p.m. or something. And yeah, we like connected even more. We talked about stuff we had interest in, and did some stupid shit. And we watched like the B movie. It was so dumb, bro. It was so stupid. It was funny though. And I remember one time Ezekiel was at her house again, talking about Arnold something. And I was like self-conscious because like they didn't tell me about it or anything, and I was low-key self-conscious about it, and I was wondering like, what were they doing? And she basically like tells me without me like bothering her about it, and it was just like some random stuff. We'll get into that on a different story time though. But yeah, so like she had my trust, and she did tell me, so like I wasn't mad about it. And yeah, I was lucky trusting her for like a while. So remember how I said about how I was pressed when someone held her bag? So I was gonna talk to her about that today, and I had this friend who made bracelets and shit, and so I had us do bracelets or whatever, like matching names, like, you know what I'm talking about. And I paid for him to get it done, and I remember I gave it to her, and the same day she was acting weird as well, in which case I didn't know why. And she was like, when I gave it to her, because I was like, why are you ignoring me? And I gave her the bracelet. I was like, here. And she was like, you're so stupid, bro. And like, I remember she like walked away. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I was trying to see and remember like, did I do anything wrong? But I didn't remember if I did anything wrong. And I was lucky just wondering like the whole day. And so yeah, that'll be it for this part. I had to make another part because I didn't realize how long this shit was gonna make. I low-key underestimated the amount of time this fucking video was gonna take. Jesus Christ. I'm actually gonna have to make like 3 parts. So I guess just like the next part gets more crazy though, but you'll just have to like wait for me to upload. Give me like a week or 2 or 3, I don't know. It's gonna be a while. I'll post like another video in the meantime of me like playing something random to keep entertainment going or something. I don't know, bro. But yeah, that's like all I got for this week. I'll try and upload probably Mondays and Fridays or something. I'll try and keep it around that schedule because I have school and stuff. So that'll be it for today's video. Yeah, peace.